Hey, you guys, back with another video for this Serato Studio series. We're going to dig into the song view or arrangement mode in this video. Here we have the screen with our sample deck and our step sequencer, and below that at the very bottom you will see your song view. You can bounce back and forth between your library and your song view. If you look to the far left, you will see a little tab that'll say library. Normally it will open up with this view where it'll have your decks, and below that it'll have your library. So to access your song view, you go to the far right and you'll see the song view tab. You can just click on that and you can bounce back and forth between the two by clicking on that tab. To the far left, you have your playback button, which brings the playhead to the beginning of the song at all times. Next to that, you have your play button. You also have your loop control, your loop button, where you can actually loop your sections. And to the right of that, you have your record button. To the right of that, you have your device drop-down menu. If you want to bring in an external device and record that into your song, you can do that as well. Here you have your setup, your input setup, and your device setup. We'll get into that in another video. Next to that, you have your input monitor. There's nothing being monitored because there's nothing coming in, so we don't have to worry about that. All the way to the far right, we have our magnifying glasses where we can zoom in to the timeline or we can zoom out. And last but not least, we have the robot head, which will give you your automation options. And we went over that in the step sequencer video, and we'll go over it again in this one. Below that, you have your scene options. When you add a scene, this is where your scenes are going to be dropped. Let me demonstrate. Here you have your scene in your step sequencer. You can drag these scenes into, let me zoom out so you can get a better view of what that looks like. You can drag your scenes anywhere into this timeline, depending on where you want it to be. So we haven't created any scenes yet, but I'm just showing you how the drag and drop options actually work. So you can just drag your scenes right into the timeline. And it tells you what line you're on because it says scenes right here. And you can either have that as a large rectangle, or you can hit the drop down and bring it up to give yourself more room if that's what you choose to do. Here's where you add audio. You click this tab here and you can add audio, and it asks you to drop your audio here. In order to drop audio, you go back into your library. Let's drag that in. Let's go back to song view. Now we have something in our timeline, some audio here. So that's how you drag audio into the timeline. Underneath that, you have your master tab. Now your master tab, as you're actually creating your track, which is the drag and drop, or if you want to cut something or make it shorter or longer, you will actually create a master in real time. And I'm going to show you how that works as well. This bottom row is going to be your master. Now we're going to go ahead and create something on the fly and play around with it so you can see how this really works. There's two different transport buttons. You have a deck here, which is your sample deck. It is play in the top sample deck is a completely different transport than the play in the bottom. So to play the top sample deck, you hit return on your Mac. That will play the top deck, and the space bar plays the bottom deck. Return for the top deck, space bar for the bottom deck. Or you can actually just go ahead to the transport button and click play, and the same with the bottom. Now this audio tab here in the song arrangement view is the entire audio. When you dragged in the audio from your library, it created the entire length of the audio. You can chop this, drag it, do whatever it is that you want to do with this audio. For instance, I'm going to control click here and I'm going to cut the audio. Now it's gone. Let's Command Z and bring that back. But as you notice, it only cuts the audio out of the song arrangement. It doesn't cut it in the sample deck. It only cuts it in the arrangement view. So you're doing two different things. This song arrangement view in the bottom is basically your song being built. It's not the master audio. Your master audio is always going to be in your sample deck. I just wanted to point that out. First of all, let's get rid of this. because I don't really want that. I don't like that. And let's get rid of this. Let's find some new cue points. We've gone over all of this already in the prior videos, but you're going to see actually how this stuff works in real time now. Okay, let's just take that. So that's going to be our first hot cue there. We're going to do something with that. We'll figure out what we're going to do with it in a few minutes. Let's see. Let's drag it out a little more. Let's make it a full ball. All right, so we got our first hot cue here. I'm going to drag that over to pad 1. So now number 1 keyboard on our Mac is going to be pad 1. That's our first sound. Let's see what else we could find. Let's see, let's use that. This will be our pad 2. Let's drag this to the downbeat. Yep, let's use that. 1, 2, 1, 2. You guys already know this is not a masterpiece. I'm just showing you the functions and how this actually works. Let me edit pad 2. Let's see what other parts we can find. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, let's use that. Let's see. I'm zooming in and out, hitting the plus and minus key. So this plus to zoom out, minus key to zoom in. Good. Perfect. All right, so we got 3 parts here, so. Let's find one more part that we could. Okay. Let me drag that back. Yep, sounds good to me. For this example, that sounds good. All right. So this will be our last hot cue. This will be our last hot cue here. Let me just edit it to make it the length that I wanted. And you notice as I'm editing, the length changes in real time in the pad. If you look in the pad, you'll see that it changes in real time. If you listen to the original, this is the original. Okay. So I'm going to make it my own by doing this. Let's double time that. Let's. Nah. Let's make it a little moodier and change the key. Let's see. All right, cool. Let's go with that. Go to our step sequencer and we're going to create some drum scenes. So we already have some drums in here. Got a kick here. You know what? This is good enough. All right, so let's create something real quick. Let's see how this sounds. All right, let's add that. Put some swing on it. Let's shift this forward a little bit. Let's name this pattern 1. Let's create another pattern. Let's copy that and let's just change this up a little bit. Let's just drag this pad 2 here. Let's go to the audio now. Let's loop this. Let's stop it. And we're going to add this pattern. We're going to bring down this pad here. And then we played pad 3. Then we played pad 2. Then we played pad 4. We're going to duplicate that first pattern and let's see how that sounds. Yep. I actually like this Nextel sound. Let's add that in. We're going to select, then we're going to copy it again, and we're going to take this whole section, going to copy this again. So now we're going to have that play twice. Let's change it up. All right, so let's drag pad 1, pad 4, pad 1, then pad 3 to resolve it. And let's copy this again, and let's add pattern 2 to that. Pattern 2, I'm going to copy that, and let's see how this sounds. It's going to play this pattern one more time, then it's going to go to pattern 2. That's basically the song arrangement mode. 4 black bars is 1 bar. 4 gray bars is another bar. Let me just make one more pattern. And that's pretty much all you need to know about the song arrangement view. And you just go crazy. This is super simple and super on the spot. As I said, it's not a masterpiece. I want it to be this simple, and I want it to sound this silly so you can see how it actually works. Let's go back to the audio. And you switch between your scenes and the audio right here in these tabs here. This is the scene tab. This is the audio tab. Let's bring it back. In fact, let's just loop this. Let's loop it. Loop, and you can drag your loop bar as far as you want. Let's loop this whole section. This is how you solo your audio. You click on the S. The S turns purple. It's soloed. Unsolo. Click it again. If you want to mute the audio, you hit the speaker icon. Audio is muted. If you want to make that audio tab smaller, you hit the drop down, give you more space. If you want the whole screen to be your song arrangement view, you hit these arrows right here, and that'll give you a whole screen of the arrangement mode. Hit the arrow again, and it'll bring down your sample deck. If you hit the down arrow, it'll make the entire screen a sample deck. Let's stop that. Let's add one more section just so you can see how this works. So let's unloop this. Let's change the drums up one more time. So we're gonna copy this. Let's generate some drums. Let's hit that. Pattern 3 is something that they generated. This is the AI drums here. Control click, rename AI drums. Let's go back to our audio and let's see if we can find something else in this audio. So whatever else we find in the audio, we're gonna add that to pad 5. Since 1 through 4 is already used up, we're gonna add this next piece of audio to pad 5, and that's gonna be our 5th hot cue. You know what? Let's use that. Let's use that. So, wow. Yep, we're gonna use that. And we're also gonna make this part pad 6. Cool. Perfect. So let's drag pad 5 here. And we're going to drag, let me see something. Let's see how that sounds. And we're going to put pad 6 on beat 3 and 4. Let's see. So let's copy that, paste, paste, paste. And we're going to go back to our scenes and we're going to drag down AI drums onto that new section, like so. And let's see how that sounds. Let's go back to the beginning and let's play our whole, in fact, let's put it on loop. And remember what I was telling you about the master track. Watch the master track on the bottom is going to create a waveform in real time as the track is playing. It's already created a wave track. Anytime we play the track in the song arrangement view, it's created a waveform. So now it's going to create an entirely new waveform now that we added something new to the track. Play. It's playing our pattern 2. The second pattern that we created, that's the pattern it's playing now. And after this bar, it's going to play the AI drum pattern. It's just that simple. Just to recap, we took our pattern 1 and we made that 4 bars. We dragged it down to the song arrangement view into 4 slots, creating a 4-bar pattern. And we did the same thing with our pattern 2. We created a 4-bar pattern. And then last but not least, we did that with our AI drums, created a 4 pattern. And we also dragged our hot cues in the order that we wanted it to be in the audio column beneath that. And we got this. Let's say you wanted to automate a parameter with this little pattern that we set up. What you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the robot. You're going to hit automation, and you'll see a purple line across the waveform. That purple line represents your automation. So here we have it set on the filter. We're going to hit the drop down menu in the audio lane, and we're going to select mixer, and we're going to select the filter because that's what we want to affect. That's the parameter we want to affect. So we're going to hit filter. So now that purple line is going to represent the filter. So all the way down is extreme, and when it's up, it's extreme the other way. So down is extremely low, meaning very low filter. All the way up is extremely high filter, whereas the middle is neutral. Let's say for our pattern 2, we want the filter to be applied. So we're going to create a marker, and let's say we want to bring it down, and then we want to bring it back up like so. And then on, let's say our third pattern, we want to, let's add an effect. Effects on, and let's choose an effect. Let's say we wanted that to be the flanger. Okay, so now we have a flanger here. And let's say the flanger, we want the flanger to come on in the last section. And here, as we adjust the flanger, we can see all the way up is extreme, all the way down is no effect at all. So we want to apply the effect in the last section, and we want it to gradually raise up. So let's see how this sounds. After this bar, the filter should be applied. Now the flanger. And that's about it. You like this and you wanted to export it. So at that point, you come up to your export option. You click on export audio file, export master, and you want the song as, oh, let's say an MP3. An MP3, you hit export. Let's call this a 3 pattern test, and you save it to your desktop. It's exporting the audio. Boom, you're done. As I learn and get to new things, I want to share it with you guys. It's an open community, and we're here to help each other and save each other some time. So please, if I've left anything out, or if there's something you don't understand, hit me up in a DM. I'll be happy to answer, and let's figure it out. Until the next time, you guys keep creating. Until then, take care.